Michel, this movie is, would you say this movie is slightly different from, what you've done before? And why did you want to get involved?
Yes, it's different, but I think every movie I've done was different. Of course, it's the biggest in terms of budget. I wanted to do something popular. I like popular cinema, I like comedy, and I like action. I did this little workshop, which I do in museum, and it's an activity where people can make their own film, and they start by choosing the genre, and always comedy and action come first as the favorite genre. So combine them together, and you have something that's really exciting.
Mm-hmm. But what's it like to direct a film where one of the actors is the writer and producer?
Well, it could be complicated. When he's acting, he's under my direction, so I feel I'm in charge. After when we edit, then he's in a room too, and we decide together. So it could be complicated, but I think it was sometimes chaotic, the process, but it all came at the end to something we all like and could identify to.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew I could rely on Seth to have the joke really be as funny as possible. I knew I could rely on Sony to have a movie that talks to the audience, because they would not let me do something that's too obscure. So I never saw the producers or the executive as enemies or people who will be stopping my creativity. But I saw them as people who will help me to channel my creativity into something that a lot of people can appreciate.
Mm-hmm. Kind of a win-win situation. Now, speaking of Seth is not your typical superhero type. So I was wondering, what do you think the audiences will react to his performance?
Well, I think they should love him a lot, because it's very real, it's very touching, and he's physical at times. He's not the chubby guy you can maybe imagine he could still be. He put himself into shape, but he's not like, with a chocolate tablet. He's not like that. He's a real guy. And I think his acting is very subtle. He can be very broad, very funny, but he can be, he makes the moment feel real. And for me, as a director, it's what is the most important. When you watch somebody acting, you don't feel you're watching an actor, you feel you're watching somebody real.
What about Jay? This is his first American film. What was he like?
Well, Jay, he's like super cool, ultra cool. He's like, we saw his concert 2 days ago, and he's like a disco, sparkling, shiny superstar. Comes like an angel from the sky with glitter all over, and it's a great performance. But when you see his face in close-up, he has this boyish quality. And I think it's a different tone, of course, the performance he gave us. But he has something very human and approachable as well. Even though he could not improvise so much with the verb, because his English is limited, he always finds something to be cool. And it was interesting because since day one, when we did the first camera test to try the costume and the lighting with Jay and Seth, I could see sort of a tension being created, because everything that Jay would wear would make him look cool, because he looks super cool. And Seth was a little underconfident with that. He felt a little awkward to have to act cool or wear a mask and stuff like that. So he was a bit envious of Jay, but on the other hand, he had the advantage in terms of improvising on the dialogue. So you have Jay that would look sometimes lost, because he didn't know what Seth was saying. But that gave me a great tension that I like to use to create the tension which is in the story, which is a superhero who is sort of jealous of his sidekick, basically.
So the lost in translation moments are actually useful to enhance the film, you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. And there is many times where it creates something that is not predictable, and that's what you want. You want to put your actor in a situation that they are not fully in control of. Because as soon as they control the situation, then they impose what they think their character should be like, and it's not necessarily what it should be. And I like to confuse them in a way, and just by speaking to them, it's confusing because my accent is horrible. So it's sort of, there is a chaos that's like, it's carefully organized and end up to do something that I really like, but all those little problems that you could call that problem are actually helping the comedy and the performance to be more alive.